Welcome to the University of New Hampshire's Latin Grammar Minute. This is Professor Scott Smith. Today's episode is on the inflected language of Latin. So what exactly does the word inflected mean? Well, it simply means that Latin words change their endings to change the way that the grammar works. And it comes from the Latin verb flectere, which means to turn or to change. And so what this really means is that you have to be very attentive in Latin to the endings of the words because they matter a great deal. So as you can see, Latin is going to be a series of different forms. They will change depending upon the grammar that they represent in the sentence. And you'll see that each word will have a stem, for example, agre, plus an ending o or e. And depending on what the case is or what the form is, they'll have different functions in the sentence. Same thing for verbs. In this case, eramus and erat mean two entirely different things. And we'll get into that in just a few minutes. So let us take a look at two sentences. And you'll notice here that the endings are exactly the same. Brutus Caesarem interfecit. It means Brutus killed Caesar. And again, in the second sentence, Caesarem Brutus interfecit. Now the key here is that the endings are the same. Brutus has the same ending in the first and second sentence. Caesarem has the same ending in the first and second sentence. And interfecit, of course, remains the same. If the endings do not change, the meaning of the sentence does not change. So both of these sentences mean the same thing. Brutus killed Caesar. Now, if we were to change the endings of the words and change Brutus to Brutum, Caesarem to Caesar, then we've changed the meaning of the sentence. So this third sentence means instead, Caesar killed Brutus. And these endings matter. What this also means is that Latin word order can be quite flexible. The upshot of all this is that you cannot depend on word order alone, like English, to establish the meaning of the sentence. You have to pay attention to the endings. We have the same kind of inflections or endings on words in English, although we have fewer of them and we pay less attention to them. Let us take a look at these two sentences. He loves the girl. The girl loves him. Now, no one on earth would think that the word he and him don't refer to the same person. In fact, they do. He and him are just simply two different forms of the same word in English. Just depends on what the function is in the sentence. The word he is the subject of the verb loves, while him is the direct object of the verb loves. So in English, we also do the same thing. And this also explains that crazy ending who and whom that you probably have seen in your lifetime and maybe have failed to understand. But Latin will help you in that regard. In Latin, we're going to start with verbs, so we'll start here. And here are two forms, video and videt. Those endings tell you who is doing the verbal action. The verb videre means to see. So in the case of video, it means I see. And in terms of videt, that means he, she, or it sees. And so the endings fundamentally change the meaning of the words. So in other words, you have to understand that the endings are what you should pay attention to most of all. And that's the concept of inflections. Now, let's take a look at a couple other sentences and give you some practice on this. Do the following sentences mean the same thing? Puella, puerum, amat. Puerum, puella, amat. Look at the endings. Are the endings the same? The answer, of course, is yes. The endings are the same, therefore they mean the same thing. And in this case, it means the girl, puella, the subject, loves, amat, the boy, puerum. And that ending um means it's the direct object in both sentences. But look at how Latin can be flexible with the word order. Now, let's take a look at these two sentences. Puellam, puer, amat. Puella, puerum, amat. Do they mean the same thing? No, because the endings are different. In the first sentence, you'll see puer is the subject, the boy, loves puellam, the girl. But when you shift those endings on the end of Latin words, it changes the grammatical meaning. In this case, puella puerum amat means the girl loves the boy. It does not matter what the word order is, the endings tell you the story. Now, let's just kind of summarize this short video. The upshot of this is, first, inflections are endings that change depending upon the word's function and meaning in a sentence. You must pay attention to them. Secondly, a student must pay special attention to the endings, and we'll have more on this in the next videos. And third, a student must not simply follow the word order of a Latin sentence and try and guess at the meaning. You must follow the endings, and they will tell you the entire story. And this ends this short video on Latin inflections.